Bad news, kids. Due to an unforeseen circumstance, Anthony Merrill is unable to compete this evening. The good news is the medics have cleared Jonathan Chambers to compete a second time this evening, so we will now see Max Highsmith versus Jonathan Chambers. Coming up next.
All right, I'm here with Max Highsmith. How are you doing, Max?
I'm doing great, Don. How are you?
I'm great. And I was chatting with him ahead of time, and so you told me you have a PhD, which is very impressive. However, I'm not going to attempt to try to repeat what you told me that PhD is in. Can you tell us?
Oh, yeah. I have a PhD in computational genetics, so huge fan of highbrow activities like fighting in the backseat of a car.
I don't think there's a connection, but I'm sure whatever you said that's a really important PhD to have. That's impressive. Any other things that are going to blow me away that you do?
Yeah, try to keep it kind of weird. Do a lot of things. I do breakdancing. I do acrobatic yoga. A little bit of
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh. Acrobatic yoga seems kind of contradictory. I mean, how do you do that? You do like a cartwheel and then go into a downward dog?
It's kind of like partner yoga, actually. So I'll be on the ground and then you move they call them the flyer, around up in the air.
Oh, you're flipping them around.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the yoga part is mostly you on the bottom, or?
I don't really know why it's called that. It's kind of like partner acrobatics.
Okay, but
that is what it's called.
If I look it up on YouTube, I'll find it. It's not something you made up.
No, not at all.
Okay, right on. Okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb and ask you one more thing. Any other things that you do that are interesting? Because this so far is just amazing.
Yeah, I'm part of a band called Treats on the Treadmill, and so you can look us up on Instagram. Check us out.
Treats on a Treadmill, and what do you do?
I'm a singer and a guitarist.
Man, okay. Well, now I guess we got to focus on the CarJitsu. Now you just like to do crazy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, you did win the coin toss, so go ahead and go out there, check out the car, and you can pick wherever you want. Thanks, Max. All right, John, come on out here. I'm here with my good friend, John Chambers, and you're coming off a win from last time, right?
Yes, sir.
Feels good. So you've had some time. You're kind of getting to be one of the veterans now. Any strategy that you're able to share, assuming that our opponent can't hear us?
So there's not really any strategy you can come up with. You can kind of have a plan, but you kind of learn that through jiu-jitsu. If it don't work, move on to something else. And a lot of people get caught up on trying to grab that seatbelt, and I don't make that mistake anymore. That's that veteran that you were talking about.
Gotcha.
I can't get it, I'm moving on.
Right. So some people get so focused on that they throw everything else out the window.
Exactly. You got to have an A move, a B move, a C move, and so on. You can't plan anything. You just got to go with the flow.
Okay. And you know your full alphabet, right?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Okay. Well, good luck. Let's go do it.
Okay, our last-minute replacement, Jonathan Chambers, making his way to the driver's seat. Max Highsmith, found with no opponent on fight night. Jonathan Chambers fighting a second time so that Max can have a match. Let's listen in.
Show your hands. Hands down. Punch him in.
And this fight is underway, Mark. We've got Jonathan Chambers with a little bit of experience, and it shows he's already on top.
Is the seatbelt unbuckled?
Yeah, it's the seat.
Strapped around. Look at that.
The seatbelt escape
Guys
is
are having
so
problems
crucial.
getting out of that seatbelt.
Max Highsmith, it's his first time at CarJitsu Championship.
Experience here.
Max on his back, and there's a tap.
Quick.
Wow.
Dominance.
Jonathan Chambers recently received his blue belt, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Max Highsmith, a purple belt. But the car is an equalizer, Mark. I've seen some incredible submissions from white belts against purple and blue belts. The limited space inside the car lends itself to a specific type of training. Now, this is round 2. You'll notice there's no break. It just takes as much time as it takes for them to switch seats and restart. That's all they get to recover.
See what he learned.
Hands down. Punch him in.
This time Max tries to block the escape, but Jonathan Chambers is on top of him again, and now Max is in trouble. He needs to bring those legs into the fight. Max is fighting. He's now being pressured up against the driver's side seat.
Claustrophobic.
He's trying to attack with the driver's side shoulder strap, but Jonathan Chambers avoids that attack. And now Jonathan Chambers applying a lot of pressure. Max is trying to go out the driver's side window. Holy smokes, Mark.
Oh,
And
there
we've
it
got
is.
a tap. We have a bread cutter choke right across
Got
the throat.
blood.
Wow.
Little blood on his temple.
Jonathan
fight
Chambers
there.
making quick work of Max Highsmith. A little bit of a cut here on Max Highsmith as we get into the back of the car for the third round. Now, if you're paying attention, that's 1 round for Jonathan Chambers, 1 round for Max Highsmith. So the third round will decide the match. Very intense, these two competitors. Now, they've scooted the seat all the way forward on both sides. I guess that's just a gentleman's agreement they made, but the officials have now corrected this. Max with a little bit of blood dripping down the right side of his forehead. It's not going to affect the match at this point. Just the laundry bill. And we're off. No seatbelt in play in the back seat, Mark, so immediately they engage. And now Max is showing some skill here. Max immediately spins to a choke attempt, but Jonathan Chambers is a veteran at CarJitsu, and he uses the post from the driver's side headrest to save himself. Now he's retreated out the window on the driver's side. And to me, it looks as if he's asking Max just to come and get him. I'm not sure what's happening here. Jonathan Chambers has really had some he's tried some weird things here at CarJitsu. And at this point, Jonathan Chambers is in a really, really bad position. He's coming back into the car here, and I'm not really sure what's happening. These guys they're in competition, but they're not really engaging, Mark. What do you
Must
think?
not have been able to get anything on that heel hook. I'm a little bit confused what's going on here. They're staring at each other.
It's an awful lot of distance. Yeah, a lot of distance between these two competitors. I have no idea. Now a little bit of patty cake, Mark.
A lot of thinking.
This is like when you and I hand fight and I can't get you to engage.
Yes.
A lot of fingertips to the face here. These guys are in a little bit of a... It almost looks like one of them is trying to accost the other one. It's less of a jiu-jitsu fight and more of a little backseat brawl here. Head pressure from Jonathan. Max is trying to set something up here, but he's a 6'5" jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's got a lot of leg to extend in the car. He's got a lot of knee to pull inside, and he's really struggling with that, but he's having a good time.
Both guys doing a lot of thinking here.
Jonathan Chambers has competed.
Nobody really going for anything.
He's competed at CarJitsu Championship a few times. One of his matches ended across the windshield. There was a match where he got out of the window and got on the roof. And he's had incredible amounts of crazy performances at both Ultimate Tire Wrestling and CarJitsu Championship.
Using his legs very to advantage here. I haven't seen this much in CarJitsu, but he's keeping them at distance with his legs. Long guy.
It's really difficult for these taller guys.
Controlling the head.
It's just hard to fully extend, but they do have the ability to stiff arm their opponents like this with their super long arms. And so Max is in a decent position here, but he's going to need to do something because he's running out of time, and it's time to win. Okay, they've reset themselves again. These guys are just trying to have a good time. These little breaks and these little restarts.
I'm not a big fan of this. No, this is competitive. Somebody needs to take the lead and grind here. There's too much handshaking.
Yeah, I think these guys are having a good time, Mark. And it's nice to see the sportsmanship.
Yes,
however,
whatever.
as we get to the end of the round here, you can see they're starting to turn it up just a little bit. I see Max, shiny object caught Max's eye, and now he's going to inexplicably open up the driver's side door. There are no breaks at CarJitsu Championship, so Max is taking a sly little walk here to catch his breath. The officials are herding these guys back into the back seat, so they need to be reminded that we are in sudden death, and in sudden death, the very next point scored under IBJJF rules wins the match. So we do not need a submission at this point. We just need a point scored. And the match is underway. Looks like Max is going to go to his back awfully easy this time. That's a bad strategy in sudden death. And as you can see, Jonathan Chambers looking for mount, and he gets it.
Here, Matt, you got it. Good job.
And you can see here, Max is going to go ahead and give him credit. He says, you've got me, you've mounted me. So there's going to be your winner, guys. It's Jonathan Chambers, his second win this evening. This one in sudden death by gaining mount. Let's listen in.
Wait, John, I know it's hot. Come on, brother. Oh, okay, we can do that.
It's not sitting in the hot box.
It's not as bad here because of the windows? Man, congratulations. That was a tough one.
Appreciate it. That was tough.
So I actually didn't see his Kimura. I thought, man, in that first round, you had him all wrapped up, right? Around his neck. And so he just had the Kimura, huh?
Yeah, he had the long enough wingspan. He was able to reach over me in my choke and Kimura me.
So did he start that after you started choking him?
He was working for the grip, but I thought I had the choke, so I didn't defend it.
Right.
And then I felt him sink it, and I was like, that's it.
Oh, man. Okay.
Got to pull something now.
But yeah, you didn't let that, take it back. You went right back at him, got the submission the second round.
Yep.
You guys went back here. You want to get in the front seat. Was that like your plan right along, or just
well, I figured with his length, because he kept shoving me back, my best bet would be to get the front, because he's going to be too tall to crawl up here without me attacking.
Gotcha. Smart. So that was working, and I think he didn't want to start up here again, so he went right before the end of the third round and reset you, right?
Yep.
So you got in the back seat and went the whole sudden death. And then you just got in mount. Was that easier than you thought, or?
So I figured in the backseat it'd be easier to get to mount, and I knew he was gonna try to stretch his legs out like he had been, so I just grasped like I'm grabbing a double leg and just crawled my way up.
Yep, I saw it. Well, good job, man. Congratulations. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
My beautiful wife, my little girl, and my son.
Right on.
You guys are the world to me.
All right, your winner, John Chambers.